Dear students, it's the week 10 and we are going to cover the second video for the week 10. Discussion is about government and society. In first video, I reviewed the subcontinent society, mean the society of United India, their different fractions, and society after and the government after 1947 and the expectations of the people, and we just reviewed a little bit till the first martial law. Let's read and clear the concepts onwards. In 1947, the newly independent Pakistan consisted of two distinct parts. The smaller but more densely populated East Pakistan, centered on the Ganges-Brahmaputra Delta region, and the much larger West Pakistan, occupying the northwestern portion of the subcontinent. The country's government, functioning under a modified 1935 Government of India Act, as was associated with the British inherited parliamentary system, containing a strong central government as well as governments in the several provinces that also gave it a federal form. However, in 1971, after the country had experienced more than 2 decades of turbulent politics, the eastern region seceded and established itself as the independent state of Bangladesh. In the aftermath of that event, Pakistan, now reduced to the former West Pakistan, faced a number of political and economical problems and uncertainties about its future. Fine. So this statement is dubious one. Several seemingly irreconcilable domestic conflicts have left their mark on the politics of Pakistan. The first of these occurred at the highest level of the leadership, involving the key political factors from the political parties. Number one. Number two, the higher bureaucracy and the upper echelon of the armed forces, notably Pakistan Army. Constitution in Pakistan has been less about limiting the power of authority and more legal justifications for the arbitrary actions. The country's several constitutions reflected more the preeminence of the person holding the highest office than the restrictions imposed on the authority. And the national government consistently has been more personalized than the institutionalized. Well, this is the same story that I expressed in the other words, that since Pakistan was established and it was decided that its system will be the British Parliament based one, mean the parliamentary system. Parliamentary system is that there is two there are government civil representative, the public representative called MPAs or MNAs, the member of the provincial assembly and the member of the national assembly. Okay, and there should be a senate, there should be a lower house, and there should be a upper house, that is called bicameral. Fine. And just like the British system, the prime minister is the head of the state, and prime minister is the administrative head of the state, and he would run the business of the state with the help of selected members from within the within their winning people. They are called cabinet. Okay, this system ran quite smoothly for almost 3 or 4 years. Fine, because Qaid-e-Azam was the first Governor General, and later on the problems rose, and the problem mainly was made by the intervention of the establishment into the civil. Fine. After the matter of Khan Liaquat Ali Khan, Sardar Abdurrab Nishtar and Muhammad Ali Bogra and other prime ministers came. But finally, the establishment, there was the military establishment, they imposed the, say, martial law on Pakistan. Okay, and in under the impression of martial law, the role of civil politicians, especially they were very notable politicians on the both side in East and West Pakistan, they remained inactive. Establishment and the civil servants started doing the business under the impression of the uh, martial law. This reduced the public liberty. Okay, well, same time, uh, new constitutions were made. For example, Constitution of 1956, 1962, clear, and 1973. The first constitutions, whatsoever they were established by the military governments, they focused on simply more power gaining, that the center, that the head of the state wanted to hold more and more power within his hands, whereas the distribution of powers and responsibilities were not there. It swapped unrest. Secondly, the people who want to transform Pakistan as truly a civil government, they were penalized. Fine. For example, at the same time, Faz Ahmed Faz and other people who want to align Pakistan with the secular and the socialist thoughts, they were penalized and the people were imprisoned. Even Fatma Jinnah was humiliated. Fine. In those times, fine. So here started that the military intervention and the bureaucratic intervention into the Pakistani government. This was really a drawback of Pakistan, because the military led by, for example, after Ayub Khan, before is Iskandar Mirza, who made uh, Pakistani state into a worst situation. After Iskandar Mirza, Ayub Khan came and he ruled it successfully and made Pakistan, strengthened Pakistan on certain stage. Yet, after the Ayub Khan, the situation became worst. Yahya Khan came, and at the same time, on the civil end, the tension between the political parties, the two political parties, Muslim League Noon, Muslim League, plus the PPP of that time, Zulfikar Ali Bhutto was the head, and in East Pakistan, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. Okay, this was a great tension. Okay, in this tension, martial law became inevitable. Yahya Khan came, he imposed martial law on East Pakistan, but at the same time, India was looking for, and they established Mukti Bani, and they armed and trained the armed and trained the Bengali youth, and a fight came, and in consequently in 1971, on 6th of December, the Dhaka fall, and Pakistan lost into more deeper situations. This loss of Dhaka, and after 1970, the situation was worst. India was in a better position. Pakistan was completely destroyed in many ways. The army was under great humiliation and morale. That time, Zulfikar Ali Bhutto came to be a true leader and who provoked spirit. He conducted Shimla compact with India. But at the later stage, when Zulfikar Ali Bhutto became powerful and he held Pakistan and doing something, but at the same time, people became more passionate. Fine. Zulfikar Ali Bhutto thought himself to be like a sole civil dictator. But again, the old masters, cleared the establishment, disliked this, and inner ways, a moment was agitation started. Bhutto was imprisoned and finally hanged, and General Zia took the throne and he became the head of the state. Fine. And that time, uh, after General Zia had taken the power, he seized most of the civil liberties because thought that these politicians were incompetent. They simply spread tension. Okay, he also sanctioned the journalists that they speak lie and many things. Means he controlled with iron hand most of the people. At the same time, in 1980s, the Russian entered into Afghanistan, and it was called Afghan Miracle. Pakistan was given due importance by America, and we were once in the bigger streamline. Okay, Afghan Jihad started, Pakistan backed it up, and Russia lost. But at the same time, a different culture evolved that people uh, unrest swept into the societies, civil societies stood against. But there were certain very good things that were done in his times. Now, today's the critics and the politicians and businessmen and many others, they uh, allege General Ziaul Haq for transforming Pakistani society into a fundamentalist society. Okay, but we cannot alone uh, impute him, blame him, because it was the demand of the time. The situation was so that he was compelled, and after this, the another era after the plane crash, uh, Benazir Bhutto came into power, and then uh, Mian Muhammad Nawaz Sharif till 1999. Soon after the Kargil conflict, General Musharraf took, and another era of Pakistani society and government started. Thank you very much.